What kind of challenges do the Packers present on defense? Looks like they're getting that from the quarterback for you.
Do a really good job. The third down stuff that they do, they're very multiple. They bring a ton of pressure. They come from all kinds of different spots. Obviously was with Coach Pettin in New York for a couple years, so I know him pretty well. He's got a lot of fun wrinkles that are extremely difficult to pick up, so they do a really good job. That's probably the biggest thing that jumps off the film. The pressure numbers are off the charts, just what they bring, how much they bring percentage-wise, and just a really good defense, good front. A lot of respect for Daniels. Clark's playing really well, of course, Clay. Just a good defense, a really good defense. Young secondary, but talented, very confident. And so they're a very good group that plays at a high level quite a bit.
Does Mike deploy that defense much different than what Dom used to do with it in your experience seeing them play through the years defensively? And has it changed all that much with how he's trying to handle things now compared to how it's worked before there?
Well, I think you definitely see Mike's involvement, but certainly it's a lot of Mike Pettin and what you see. Certainly there's the carryover from what they are in base compared to what they are on third down. The multiple looks that you get on third down are probably up there with anybody in the league in terms of how much different stuff that they do. So, of course, Mike's a terrific coach, but you can see that Mike Pettin's brought a very aggressive, multiple look defense in passing situations.
I know you weren't here last year, but this is kind of a different role for Russell this year, whereas last year he was sort of had to carry the offense, and now it's him and the running game. How have you seen him handle that this year?
Oh, terrific. He just wants to win. Disappointed we couldn't get one done on Sunday, but he just wants to win. I think he ultimate competitor. I mean that. I'm not just saying that. He's the ultimate competitor. To watch him bounce back from the interception last game and take us 90 yards and run around and do the things that he did and hit the touchdown to Mike is impressive. It's about wins and losses, and it doesn't matter how you do it. He's embraced his role as a leader on this team, and whether he's got to hand it off 50 times or throw it 50 times, he's ready to go do that to help us win.
You guys have had 5 one-score games this year. You only managed to get one of them in the win column for you. Is there any common thread you see between those 5 games that just not quite being able to get over the hump and get the wins?
No, not without looking back at them and really studying them. I don't think so. I think obviously the last 2 games, the turnovers in the fourth quarter were big. We know that. But again, we've been able to kind of overcome them to a point. I mean, we get within a yard against the Chargers. We're kind of rallying back against the Rams, and we just need to be better at finishing.
Looks like the last couple of weeks you've implemented more zone read stuff. What goes into the thought process to want to implement more of that?
Obviously, he can create a lot of problems for people on the edge. He's very good at it. He's done it for a long time. So it just gives them another facet that they have to worry about defensively. So it's not just that we're going to run the ball up inside between the tackles with our backs. It's that, hey, they got to be ready for Russell to pull the ball on the edge. Sometimes he does it when it's designed. Other times he just has a great feel for things. So he's been doing it for a long time. Obviously, he's smart with the fact that he gets outside on the edge and he's not going to take a lot of shots, which is important.
You got 3 backs now who've had 100-yard days. What do you tell them this week in the pecking order and the egos and all that goes into that position?
Well, I think number one, there's not a pecking order. I think Chris is the guy that will start the game, but it's pretty cool to have those guys. It's a really unique room in terms of that they're all young. They're all young. They're all there to support each other. They're all there to push each other, and it truly is next man up. It was cool to see Rashad kind of come into his own last week. I mean, some beautiful runs. The cutback that went down their boundary where Russ was kind of out in front and fell down just to kind of stay out of the way, which we're telling him to do. But it was cool to see him come into his own. And then we know what Chris and Mike have done. So there's not a ego in that room. Again, the main thing for us is we want to win. And we want to get back to that. And whoever carries the ball, whoever has to produce, we expect them that they'll do that. And it's just a credit to the entire unit, not just the backs, but the offensive line, the tight ends, the receivers, that were able to do it with 3 different backs.
Because Penny had the frustrating August with the finger and then not playing as much, and then here in the first-round pick stuff. Now that he breaks out, is there part of you that might want to get him more to just keep him going and engaged now that he's fine?
Well, he's always going to be involved in the plan. He'll always be involved in the plan. We're hard on him. We're excited about it. He's still a young player. still has those times in the meetings where it's like, Rashad, you listening? Like most young players do. The season's long. But I think it was really good for his confidence to go out there and do what he did and to play well and perform well. And I think his assignment grade was really, really good. So I think he's always involved, and I think now he feels like, okay, hey, I'm involved, I can help, I can play, and I think that kind of pushes some of the pressure away from him.
And does it make him more effective if he only gets 2 to 3 carries? Because sometimes running backs just need to get a feel for the game, but the confidence, does it help with fewer carries?
I think, again, it's much easier to get into a flow of a game when you get a bunch of carries, but he's the type of home run hitting back that, again, the pressure that they brought off the edge, I mean, really, by all sense, they should have had a chance to stop the run. They blitzed both edges, and he just saw a lane to cut back and had an unbelievable cutback to get behind it. And so certainly his confidence is high. I know the other backs feel the same thing about the way they feel with our line and how they're going to open holes. And we're functioning very well in the running game right now, and that's a good thing.
Was there something last week with Rashad that you looked at was like, that's it right there, that's what we want to see? Some aspect of what he was doing, whether it was the vision, the burst, however you saw it come together that allowed him to do that?
The first big run that kind of cut back behind, I mean, those were the things that we saw early on in OTAs, we saw in training camp. The vision, okay, I'm heading to the right, but I feel the void, and so be able to get that big frame of his going the other way, and then to get to top speed pretty fast. That was one of those things where it's like, okay, I remember seeing that a lot in the spring and in the summer.
I think a couple weeks ago you mentioned just the way that Russell prepares and that he makes reports for you each week that are very, very detailed. I'm wondering, does he prepare differently, or how rare is that, I guess, the way that he prepares and the amount that he prepares compared to other guys you've been around?
Very organized. He's very organized. They all prepare. You can't play this position at such a high level and not prepare. He's very selfless in a lot of the things that he does. He shares with the group, both coaches, players alike. So I would say the organization is probably unlike any I've ever seen in terms of computer printouts, and I mean it's impressive. So he's an unbelievable worker. I get texts at all kinds of hours of the night. I'm not sure when he sleeps. I don't sleep much, but I don't know when he sleeps. But all kinds of strange hours about, hey, what about this? What about that? So he's always thinking the game. And what's probably different for him from some of the other guys who've been around is his willingness to share what he's done and prepared with the rest of the group.
In those kind of clutch situations, is there anything he's ever getting a feel for what to call, who to go to in those late game situations?
Sure. I think a lot of it starts with what Russ likes. That's the main thing. We certainly we feel a balanced group of players that we're very comfortable. The defense sometimes will dictate it, but we always think of players, not plays. The play last week that we had on 4th down, they did a nice job. They doubled Doug and kind of took him away on the 4th down. But you always try to think of players, not plays. And again, with that, there's also a starting point of, okay, what does Russ feel really good about? What does he like? And then, of course, how to get guys in the right spots. That's a big part of the preparation. Those plays you've kind of got scripted, and they're kind of always on your call sheet. You've got a handful that you feel comfortable calling in those situations. Kind of call them gotta have it's, where it's like, okay, hey, if we gotta have it, here's what we're thinking. So they don't change too much. You might tweak them from time to time, but they're pretty well thought out in advance.
With Doug, he hasn't had a breakout game for you yet this year. What do you kind of sense is his spot right now and getting him to that point where he looks like the Doug of old? And I know he's had the knee stuff.
Yeah, I told him on Monday when I saw him, again, the days are running together, but I told him on Monday I thought he looked really good in that game. It was an option route on 3rd down that he ran, and he caught it, he put his right foot in the ground and just shot up the field, and I was like, wow. And so I think he's feeling better now. I'm not worried about Doug. Doug's going to be fine. I think he's starting to feel good, and that's good for us.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.